Since March, concert venue doors have been shut. And with musicians losing gigs and staying socially distant, live music everywhere is in flux. But in the face of a crisis, the jazz community in my hometown of Philadelphia is improvising to make ends meet. Pianist Orrin Evans is normally touring and living on planes, but now he's at home in Philly, adjusting to the new normal.
So for me, it took a month of like straight up just being sad, like what am I gonna do, what am I gonna do, what am I gonna do? And then around May, I said, this is what I can do.
Orrin hosts a concert series from his front lawn every Sunday. He calls it Club Patio, and it was born out of his reaction to the George Floyd protests in his community.
And the energy in my neighborhood was so, I don't want to say dark, but just interesting. It was, I will say dark. And I decided to come outside and set up and play. And the first time I did it, I was really nervous. You know, I was like, man, are the neighbors gonna freak out? And then I saw a neighbor come up the street and pull out her chair and just sit down and enjoy herself with her mask on. The next day, she put a bottle of wine in our door and was like, thank you for doing something great for the neighborhood.
Club Patio has grown from that one neighbor in the yard into a weekly live stream and a small crowd of other Mount Airy residents with chairs of their own.
I think all of us will survive if we think outside of the box. When there wasn't COVID, if you weren't booked at the premier jazz club, you still had to figure out a way to maintain. So maybe you did this, maybe you did this. I think what a lot of musicians have done is say, oh wow, we don't have a stage, what do we do? And I've always been the person, and there's a lot of other musicians out there too, that like, well, let me create a stage.
And just 5 minutes away from Club Patio, Philly resident Molly Murphy has created another stage. She's using her backyard for her own concert series.
Well, it's funny to hear it referred to as a concert series because we certainly did not ever imagine that we would be in the business of, creating a series. But we just were thinking these musicians, all of their gigs have been canceled. And is there anything that we could do to try to be helpful? And, we have a yard, a sizable yard, and we've actually always wanted to have a concert in our yard and just kind of never got around to it.
So far, Molly has hosted 8 concerts, letting up to 60 audience members, socially distanced, of course, in her yard. With every show sold out, she's collected over $30,000, and all of that money has gone to musicians.
And of course, that is really important, especially for these young musicians who are just trying to get a footing. And all of a sudden, there are no gigs. And so this has been, I think, really great for them. And they've expressed that to us.
I'm always hopeful. I'm an optimist most of the time. At least this crowd gives me so much hope because they sold out this show within, I think 24 hours, I heard. Just knowing that there's still so many people out there that are willing to support music and the arts gives me hope that maybe we're taking the arts away for long enough that people will be really, really itching to have music back when possible.
But these gaps between gigs also make musicians like Haley and local band leader V. Shane Frederick wonder if a future in music is even possible.
I mean, I know that some people are going to be all right. I'm one of those people who may be all right, And in this period of time, not everyone who came into the pandemic as an artist will leave as an artist. And it's sad, but it's also real. This is a time where, you have to kind of demonstrate your mettle and prove that you really actually want to do art, do a living art, inside of a living culture, and find a new way to do it. I'm doing digital streaming stuff too, and we do the outdoor stuff as long as there is an outdoor to do it in. And then when winter comes, and then what do?
Wondering where you are and how you are. If you are all alone too. If you are all alone too.
I hate to say it, but as someone from Philly, I know I sure wouldn't be out there in November. So what happens in winter? Well, one answer may just be to go back inside, into the clubs that have been shuttered for months. Chris's Jazz Cafe, one of Philly's oldest clubs, is finally reopening its doors.
Well, before COVID, we were killing it. We had sold out shows every Friday and Saturday night. We had top talent from all over the world coming to play at the club. Happy people all the time. The kitchen was buzzing, and it was our best year in 30 years. And then we got the call. And we got that call on Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 16th. And they said, you have to be closed by 5 o'clock. I was scared. I was scared that we were going to lose the restaurant. I could lose my house because there was no income anymore. And after, I guess, a month of that depression and feeling pity for myself, I said, this isn't what you do. This isn't who you are. So I called up Sean, the sound engineer, and I said, Sean, we were talking about live streaming.
And like so many other artists and club owners these days, Mark moved his audience online. With a little grant money, Mark and his staff updated an old-time jazz club. But the money made from the streams isn't enough to keep the lights on at Chris's. Not yet. For the time being, up to 30 people can come sit down, have a drink, and see a live band at Chris's.
This is going to be with us for a while. So instead of saying, oh, we can't do it, we had to figure out how we could do it.
Obviously, the road to recovery in the entertainment industry is far from over. And with a potential second wave coming and no vaccine available yet, the jazz community will have to continue to find innovative ways to stay afloat. So, Oren, what's next?
I guess the answer to that question is come back and see. I'll be doing something.